Welcome to XM.com for this Forex Preview video. I'm Cristina Marujos. Joining me today is investment analyst Cristina Barcenido, and we'll be having a look at Eurozone inflation. Cristina, we're seeing many nations in Europe go into new lockdowns, all while COVID infections surge across the region, with a new variation of the virus causing further concerns. This is the background in which the November Eurozone CPI numbers will be released, and forecasts point to another spike in inflation. What are we likely to see in the report?
Hi, Christina. Indeed, inflation is expected to keep trending up for the fifth consecutive month, rising up to 4.4% year on year in November from around 4% previously. If true, that would be the highest since 1991. And excluding prices for food and energy and alcohol, which are volatile items, inflation is still expected to climb to 2.2% year on year. So that's a more important indication that supply chain disruptions in energy and other material products are probably spreading to other sectors, making businesses transfer their higher input costs to consumers. The problem now is how long will that persist? The ECB is blindly trusting its inflation models, which suggest that high price pressures are transitory, anticipating inflation to return to 2% in the medium term. But as we can see, the pandemic is definitely not over. The health community is now worried about the new Omicron variation, and as you have already mentioned, several key economies in the Eurozone have already announced new restrictions. Perhaps businesses may not be willing to further raise prices if the ongoing infections worsen, causing a slowdown in consumption and therefore a pullback in GDP growth. However, lockdowns announced in previous months, which were also partial, caused softer growth slowdown. So perhaps demand for products and services may remain strong enough to keep inflation elevated. And in this case, the question will be how the ECB would respond to that and whether it will raise its interest rates as soon as in 2022. Currently the ECB is expected to terminate its pandemic asset purchase program in March, but how the regular asset purchase program will change next year, and more importantly, how interest rates will adjust, that is still uncertain and definitely requires more confirmation from the data.
And what about the euro? We've seen it struggling lately, especially against a stronger dollar. Therefore, can Wednesday's CPI report offer the currency some support?
Well, I think that depends on how serious will the COVID news be in the Eurozone this week. The rising infection cases and the decision by some member states to take new measures shows that the pandemic is probably getting out of hand again. And last week we saw the euro tumbling because of that. Unless the situation worsens, I think that the euro could gain some ground if inflation data surprise to the upside on Tuesday, endorsing a tighter monetary policy. Otherwise, if the news keep signaling caution around the COVID situation, then the euro may not get the boost it desperately wants to bounce above the 1.5-year lows it recently reached.
Cristina, thank you for joining me today, and thank you for watching this Forex Preview here at XM.com.